Stress management. But it looks as if you put stress on me. Thank you very much, Pastor and elders, for the opportunity. My topic is to discuss with you business. So when I looked at, I was in Kenya University yesterday. So when I looked at it and I realized that the business topic comes with health and this thing, I said if the people are not healthy and psychologically going through all these things, business will be secondary. So it's good you've done these things for us to know our stress level, and of course making sure that we are healthy before we pick up any issue relating to business. Let me start by saying that in these days, issues of business is key. And it has always been key, always. Sorry, I'm not used to standing here. I used to walking, so just bear with me. And getting that is key because the continent we find ourselves, where majority are youths, our biggest problem in terms of security has to be issues of unemployment, among other things. So I want to share with you three things. Basically, how to probably start and grow a business, how to fund our business, and how the issue of God as Christians, God will lead us. We have to bring that one in to make it. So it's how to start or manage a business, how to fund that business, and how to let God lead you in managing and funding that business. So in Africa and other countries as we find ourselves, the culture has been that we go to school, and when we finish school, we have to be employed, engaged by somebody. So you learn all the good English, big theories of business. And I always share this with my master's student that I don't want to be a professor of business where I don't have a business. I've not run space to space even before, and I don't have anything. So if I teach business and I talk about business, then I have to be involved in business myself. And so I also do business. I also have business, and I also engage others in that aspect. So I want to let's look at how do we start a business. How do we start a business? Starting a business basically means that you need to do 4 key things, which I have taught how to be an entrepreneur. You need to do 4 key things. The first one is that you need to make your mindset, set your mind to start a business. When we have an education system that trains us to get knowledge, to get skill, and go and look for business, to go and look for job, the mindset is you don't even get your mind on anything. The mind is that let's go and find work to do, because the system is about making sure that we have actually finished what we have studied and we are going to look up. So the first thing is to make up your mind to start a business. Once you come to that realization, you see a lot of business opportunities around. Even as you sit here, there are a lot of business opportunities around. So just make up your mind. Why the issue of mindset? The issue of mindset is very important because we end up in life, there are 4 stages. What we call that the foundation stage of life, where you have to go for training, you have to go for education, you have to acquire some skill, you have to do all those things. But beyond that, you also have to a point where you have to make an impact, where you have what you have learned, what you have studied, you have to bring it to bear. And then we have a point, what we call the point of departing. The foundation stages are the ages, let's say from 5 up to about 24, mostly around 22. These days, by 22, most people are finishing their tertiary education. Then the point of imparting is when you actually deliver based on what you have learned. You make sure that it actually gets to the people or what you do. Then you get to the point of departing. I'm sure when you have met somebody, who is around 60, 70 years, every minute that he or she have, he want to tell you in summary what he has done over the 70 years. You sit behind somebody who is 80 years and he will tell you in 1942 this thing happened. When I was this in 1970, this was what happened. Then within 2 minutes he want to tell you because he or she has achieved a lot, and he thinks that there's so much within which he want to share, because we call that point a point of departing in business, because he's learned a lot and he want to depart. In business, once you decide that you want to start a business or you want to do a business, as I said, set your mind. You start seeing opportunities. But if the mindset is that I want to go and look for a job, you start seeing advertisements. And you start searching all kinds of job platforms and all those things just to get it because you want to. So once you said, I want to start a business, even where you sit, where you have been sitting for so a long time, you realize that there's a business opportunity close by. Every community that you enter, at the entrance, you start seeing business opportunities. Once you make up your mind that I'm visiting this community because I want to do business, I want to find business opportunities, you start seeing the business opportunities. But once you decide that I want to go and look for a job, you start looking at the walls. This thing wanted, advertisement, this one wanted, this, that, and that's what you see. So it depends. You start with the mindset. That's the first thing I want to talk about. And the difference between what you can achieve and what you cannot achieve is that also depends on the mindset. So I want to start a small business, grow it to this point. If the mindset is that you start small, but you grow. I want to do a business, what we call lifestyle business. I have a work, I have a job that I'm paid. So I just want to start something and just earn some extra income. It will be like that. Small like that, because the mind has set the business to be in that corner, and it will be like that for years, for months, for so many years. But the first man said I want to be a big business and even stop what I'm doing and focus on that business. Years to come, you realize that it becomes a big business. So that's the essence of the mindset which I want to put that. The first step is decide on your mind, and the power lies with you. That one, hardly can I change, unless probably I have a whole this thing on mindset, which that's not what I'm discussing today. But just decide, and once you did, especially my brothers and sisters who are within the period where you are acquiring knowledge, you are acquiring skill, it has to start there. That's where almost every business school, every university have incubation, have a hub, have something that trains people. It's about the mind, because we want to let you know that year 1, year 2, year 3, although you are trained to be an accountant, you can also be an accountant in your own business and also get other skill. And one of the World Bank projects I'm leading, which is the Africa Higher Education, is about that, to get 8 African countries and selected universities. Ghana is Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, and Ashesi University, and there are other 7 countries, mostly in East and South Africa. West Africa is only Ghana, and once the name and those things go through, if you are selecting, it will only be Ghana. It cannot be somewhere else. And the issue is to let the student develop that, because World Bank has realized that we can keep on giving Ghana and other African countries money. But if the entrepreneurial skill and the mindset is not there to train the people, we turn out close to about 120,000 graduates every year. And studies have shown that it takes them an average of 5 years for them to have a meaningful job. Some even takes 12 years to have a meaningful job. He will be getting something, doing something, but he is underemployed. It's below him until 12 years. Do we want to waste that 12 years? So what I'm saying is that is the mindset to also inculcate that into it. The second one, so the mindset is just something which is the mind. The second one for every business is to identify human needs. Every human needs is a business. What we call that generic human needs. Every human needs is a business. So once you understand the needs and wants of people, it's a business. So as you sit here, the next person sitting to you have a need. If you congregate those needs, it gives you a business to have. I'm sure some of us are thirsty. Some of us want to eat, what we call that universal need. Some of us want to be beautiful. We want our dress to be okay. Some of us want to be safe. Some of us want to be secure. Some of us want to feel good. So people set up a business and say that it's just an ushering or it's meet and greet at the airport. So when you have a guest, the whole campaign, that's because people want to feel important. So when they get to the airport, we go and meet them, greet them, and let them feel good. And he set up a business because it's a need, just to feel good. And they develop into different businesses. Once he set up that business to let people feel good, he said, oh, welcome, you are welcome to Ghana. Your house was everything was okay. Then he try a cashier. He feels good. Then out of that, he starts saying, oh, what is here? Then he realized that the people that he let them feel good, they really also want to have other business. Do you have this food here? Do you have this thing here? Do you have this thing? He realized that every day they keep on asking that question. So he set up a business to provide the questions they are asking, to be an answer to the various questions he's receiving from the guests. And that becomes it. So what I'm saying is that identify human needs. Every human need is a business. And the human need comes in the form of what we call universal need. They need to need for hunger, thirst, and all. They are universal. Everybody have it. But that does not give you a business straight away. You need to secondly develop that universal need to a specific need. So let me give you an example. You all have a need for entertainment. You want to see people, Edda said that sometimes you want to watch a movie, you want to be entertained. So those days, the concert guys or those musicians move from community to community, town to town. So Amachi the day is coming from Tukasua, then everybody will be jumping. Then you move from here to here. Then so there's this entertainment movie. There's a concert party or everybody they move from town to town. Then somebody sat there and said that, can these people move from town to all the places? And what about those in Kwemberiate, Tilakubukazu, and all those things? How would they get there? So he decided to record all those things and put it in something for us to watch. It came in the form of a big TV. You see that Tikompo TV. Then you realize that the Tikompo TV is taking space, consuming a lot of. After he has let all of us buy the TVs, he let all of us buy the TVs. We all have it. Even first he started with black and white. He let all of us get the black and white. Then he said, no, this is no good. You have to see the color of the dress the person is wearing. So he brought color. Other than that, after the first 10 years of producing black and white, you'll be out of business because we've all gotten it. So you move on and bring us color. Then you sit there and say, the color, you have it. So people, I'm sure our senior citizens, some of them were having like this. This thing was here, the back is like this. Big one. And those were the big men and big women there. Then he sat there and said that, no, they've all gotten it. How do we sustain our business? Let's cut it. Cut a full and make it like this. These guys will come back and buy it and tell them that the old one, the things there are no good. So they just cut it and say, oh, Fraskin has come. Then we rushing, buying, that. I'm sure the next TV that will come will be in our palm. So you do this and you watch it and then you do this and then you go. He has developed that generic need for entertainment into a specific need. And he has have different levels, LCD, just to make sure that he keep on having that business. So what I'm saying is that there's need for food, there's need for test, you need to convert that to a very specific need. Take water, a need for test. People travel, they will need water. So ice water was in a cup. Do you remember? So you take the cup, I also take the cup, you also take, then you move on to the polythene. Paying, when you go to the other place, ice water to rob him. Because it's in the rubber. Then you move on from there, then you came to this. These days, very few people even take the sachet one. But then when the sachet one came, unless you sit somewhere before you get it. So we move on from there. This will get is part. Now they have something like infusion in the bottle tab, infusion, then you pick it. And different models are, this thing will get off very soon, especially in terms of global warming and environmental sustainability and all those things. We get off the plastic very soon. Just give yourself maximum 5 years. It will be off. So the next businessman person is looking at what can I do to replace this? It's the same water we are talking about because we always continue to have the universal need for water, for test, for hunger. So you need to be thinking of how you can get the next. If you're able to come up with the next business, even by providing the same kind of water, but in a different packaging and different means, you have a business. Before you realize how this plays all this. I'm sure you remember when we used to have space to space and communication centers. Yes, it was a very good business, very fantastic business. Communication center, people come and queue. You get your call, they come and call you. But if you decide that this is a business I'm born to do, and you are here today, you don't have a business. So you change the universal need to a specific need. And you continue building on that specific need to have a business from there. Once you have the specific need, you need to look at, that's where you need to, not every business is a good business. The need will be there. The specific need will be there. But a business is a business that is able to get you money to take care of the business and get you extra money to take care of the business in future, what we call profit. So you see some business start very well, but it's not able to generate enough to take care of it today and the future. So you get to a point then it's no longer there. So that is where you need to analyze, where the analysis and all those things come. Once you get the business idea, I think that even as you sit, as much as I speak, as much as business idea that comes to you, just write them down. Just keep on writing them. As I speak, you'll be getting ideas. Just write them down. They may not be business on itself, but it's a business idea, what we call idea generation. You are generating ideas on business. You can look at existing businesses, pick them one after the other, and say, this is the business. That business that you see today, the form that, the model it took wasn't the same as it is today. Every business has evolved. So one way of getting a business is to look at all businesses that exist today, write them down, and ask yourself, how can I change the existing way of doing this business? What we call a new business model. It's an old business, all right, but you brought in a new business model. That changes the way that business functions. Is the way, let's look at Ghana Post. I'm sure you were queuing to get post office box. And post office, people go and queue for their letters. But what has happened? The business model has changed. It's the same letters. The way we send letters, or people don't write letters these days. People write letters. People send parcels. People do this thing. But the platform, the model has changed. Because we use emails, we use WhatsApp, we use those WhatsApp that you send, those they will have been Telegram, where you have to go and send, they will be getting money from you. But somebody came and said that no, all those letters and those things, they are good, but I want to displace all the telecommunications in the world. So he just set up an app. and say, bring all your letters and all your communication to my app, WhatsApp and all those things. So all the telecom company, postal companies in the world are struggling because somebody has changed the model of doing that business. So once you identify that specific need, look at the various options. Write all the options down. Some may be an existing options, some may be new, and look at each of the options and say, can I bring in a new model to change it? To change the way that business is conducted, to change the way the things are done. Then once you are able to do that, you are on your way. That's why you have a lot of inventions in that sit in various research institutions. Not all of them are business, because a business, after identify that, you need to conduct what we call feasibility study to be sure whether that business people will accept it and all those things before. But once you write them down, you can get somebody to assist you to make sure that whether it's feasible or not. Please, the third one I want to share with you. So what I've said is that position your mind, especially at the youths. After you've positioned your mind, identify human needs. Look at the way the human needs are done now. And how every human need is a business. And once you're able to identify those human needs, look at ways of solving that human need. What I mean is, all that I haven't talked about money. That, it will give you money. No. Because it's the need that you are solving. In an attempt to solve human need, you automatically get money. You don't go into business that I want business that will give me money. You start by identifying what human beings need, what society needs, what the world needs. And so you solve the world problem, and by solving the world problem, the world pays you money for solving their problem. So once you do that, you automatically get money. The next step, please, can you go to my next yellow slide for me? The next step is to gain knowledge and explore. You have identified needs, generic need. You've broken down need to specific need. The need for hunger. I want to solve human need for hunger. Do I solve human need for hunger? I want to solve it immediately for those around this area. That's where you look at providing food, maybe ready-made food for them to eat. But you may also decide that you are solving that human need for hunger by actually producing the food. That's where you go into agribusiness and agriculture-related business. You are not providing immediate food on the table. Then the second one is you need to gain knowledge about it. How do you get knowledge about it? You need to get knowledge about it by ensuring that you have conducted. There are various ways of getting knowledge about it. There are research institutions. Go to CSIR if your need is about the one in Opongro. Is it Opongro? Yeah, I think that place is so. Getting to East Legon. There are a lot of research they have done which has to be commercialized, especially those youth who probably you are unable to develop an idea. And you want an idea that has already been developed, and you want to convert it to business. There are a lot of such things that are there. There are a lot of such for the various research stations, CSIR, the food research. There are various ones from cocoa research, various ways of using cocoa. You don't see them much, but they have developed them. So if you are not developing an idea on your own, there are a lot of them. There are a lot of things you can actually read which has been developed but hasn't been commercialized, to be able to make sure that. And in developing, getting knowledge and exploring, that's where you need to find out from people who have already started. Everybody who has started business and successful, that may not be his first business. Every successful business that you see, that is not a person's first business. Because some of them start and just add it. Let's take Microsoft. Microsoft is an amalgamation of about 147 companies. Bill Gates didn't, the one he's using is He started the idea. He went to people and realized that somebody is doing something that is related to what he is doing. He said, can we partner or can I buy you out? Then he went to this. It's an amalgamation of 147 companies. When you take even the Facebook and those things, that it's an amalgamation of over 70 companies because people were doing something simple. So he went to them just to get knowledge. What are you doing? I'm sure I learned you are doing this. Then the person tells you, oh, it's very close to something, but he will not tell you what he is doing. It's very close to something I'm doing. Can I buy shares in it? Can you bring it on board? Can we partner? Can we add? Okay, or something. Then they move on to that point. So what I mean is that get knowledge, find out about people who are already doing that, and go through, let them help you. Because every company that you see is a knowledge of people that have shared. That's why in Ghana and Africa, you don't have big companies. When you take the big four, which I used to work with one of them, KPMG, they were indigenous, that's where I worked for a long time. Indigenous companies, indigenous accounting firm, Owusu Menu and Co., Okon and Co. Our accounting and firms have remained like that for years. When the owner dies, the company dies. But these guys came from various countries like EY, Ernst & Young, PwC, and look for a local company, accounting company in Ghana, and say, guy, you are doing well. Very well. We don't want to start afraid. People even don't know us. We can't even speak the local language. Let's take your firm and brand it so that it will be all over. KPMG, for instance, is in 192 countries. So that we will have it as KPMG and have it everywhere. Then the person understands, and I'm sure if Okon, the owner of the original case was Okon, if that Okon was operating the company, is dead, I'm sure the company would have also died. But they moved on and got knowledge and merged, and so the company is going on. What I mean is that get knowledge, ask from people, and that will also help you. The next thing I want to talk about, please can you get to my next slide for me, the yellow slide, is before you set up every business, you need to ask yourself these four questions. The first one is look at the economic environment. At this point, the current economic situation that we have, the businesses that thrive are business that people need, they need immediately. So something like anything about food, anything about fashion, because those things you can't postpone it. So any business now, so always look at the economic environment. When inflation is low, single digits, exchange rate is low, and all those things, you look for businesses that will expand in 5 years. Because at that time, the situation is good, so you'll be able to grow that business in 5. Now, every business you start should be something that will let people eat, or something that will be about, if you are the other industries like real estate and all those things are down, they are businesses for the future. So you look for the market trend, you look for the funding, you look for, make sure that the government policy is in line with your business. What you are doing, the government long-term policy is in line with what, so you buy into that. So some people get their businesses by looking at their budgets. Then he sees that in the budget, government want to do this. So he quickly go and set up ahead of government. Then so before government start that thing, so I'm already into that. Then he partners with, or he gets some support from the government in that aspect. So what I'm saying is that check the economy, check the government programs and regulations, check the funding changes. Now, when the economic situation is not good, you need to start a business that people need them now. Not people will need it and grow it in the future. You need to start it, what things people will need it now. And as I conclude, because I realize that time is not a good friend today, can you get to my last one? I've talked about synergy in one way or the other. I want to talk about the few minutes. I'm sure there's injury time. Okay. Just move to the funding. The funding, how do you fund these business ideas? So I want 3 ways. The first one is you know that for every business you need to start somehow. It starts with you. So once it starts with you, then you can have a way of saying that I want to start a business in 2 years. So I want to save a portion of what I earn to be able to do that. Can you stay here a bit? But for you to fund a business, it doesn't depend always on money, because there are 5 types of capital which you can leverage on, you can depend on. One of them is your human capital, your competence, your knowledge, your education, where you have been trained, what you know already. So, for example, assuming I want to start a business, I don't know anything, I don't have money. I say I have some knowledge of managing schools. Having been a president of an institution before, having been a dean of a university before, I know how to manage schools. Can you also provide a capital for us to manage, so that we partner? You are not paying me, so that we partner and manage that. So always look at yourself. What do you have? Which could be a knowledge, experience, or competency that you have. Can you partner with somebody with finance to be able to have that? That's what we have. The other thing is also social capital. Social capital is the friends you have, the family members you have, the people you meet. Probably you are meeting a business partner today. As you get outside the gate, you can start talking about. So the various partners you meet, they are also capital. So you can also rely on them, but sometimes we make casual partnership where we meet them and we don't have the business mindset. So this is a businessman or somebody who can support, but we just make the friendship and off we go. We don't develop it further. And so that is the second capital, which we call social capital. You talk about psychology, and because of what, we also have psychological capital. Your confidence level alone, so that you can manage this. So that's why when we form partnership, then the managing partner, because of probably his confidence level or the level of friendship that he have, or he is very optimistic, this thing will work. Let's do it. Then so the one who has the money has and say, oh, I'm not sure. So I say it will work. Let's do it. If you are not sure, I can start it. You get support from the boss. Oh, I'm not sure. I'm saying it will work. This person used it, it worked. This person also used it, it worked. This person also used it, and it will work. You don't have the money, but the confidence alone is enough to bring the one who has the money to bring it. Then the entrepreneurial capital, that is where you bring the other things. As I move on, the next capital has to do with the fact that, remember Joseph advised before the famine. What did he say? How did he advise on the famine, the 7 year? The people got food in abundance for 7 years, right? Then he said, what do? They should store some. Yes. In finance and this thing, it tells us they actually stored, without knowing, average maybe around 20%. When you store, when you keep what you have, around between 15 to 20% for 7 years, it doubles. So it will no wonder that they store for 7 years and they were able to feed themselves, even bring people from outside, and also feed them for 7 years. So what it means is that whatever that we have, if you're able to keep using the 20-80 principle, you pay God 10%, you pay yourself 10%, which is going into your business. Then the 80% is consumption. That's where you used to pay bills. So 20-80 principle, God 10%, yourself or your business 10%. 80% is what you spend. It's not the other way around. You want to spend, then what is left is you give part to God. Then you also invest some. No. It's 20-80. 10 God, 10 your business, 80 consumption. When you do that, within 5 to 7 years, you'll be able to have a capital. Especially as Christian, you'll be able to have a capital. So what I mean is that the first capital comes from you. It could be a way of saving for at least 10 to 20% of what you get to start a business around that figure, because you don't always have to start big. And once you get that, you move on. The second way is what we used to do it, we do it, but we don't know, we call it crowdfunding. I want 10,000 to start a small business here. I only have 1,000. If I ask elder and pastor and others to give me 1,000, that would be a big money. They say, this person, Ernest, if Ernest doesn't bring this money, I've lost big money. Our friendship, that's the difficulty in Christianity. You lose, you give that person, if he's unable to pay, because he doesn't want you to see, you'll not be coming to church. Even when you call to find out how he's doing, you know that you are asking for the money. So he will also not pick up. Then you have lost the money and you have lost your brother. The two of them, because any call, you think that you are asking for the money while you are not asking. So because of that, you do the crowdfunding. 10,000, I have only 1,000 or 500. Then I'll look for very good friends and I will leverage on my social capital. Then say that they can't give me 1,000. But if I mention 200, they may be able to give. Because 200, even if I don't pay, they will forget about it. So I get about 20 people and ask for the 200. Or ask for 500 for 20 people. That will be what? 20 times 500. 10,000. That's exceeded what I need. And if I'm faithful, because I needed 10,000, is other, you tell them this is the business I want to do it. Maybe not the details. So I need this. I don't need 10,000. I just need 500. Just help me with 500. Maybe 1 year time or 6 month time, I will pay for you. And the time that you have set, make sure that you pay. Maybe when the business starts growing, you can go back to them if they want to convert that to shares. Instead of paying them the money as a loan, they want to be part of the business as shares. And because you started with 10,000 and you added yours, allocating shares will be easier. Because it's about, let's say, 12,000, 500 divided by 12,000. Very simple. So you know that you have about 5% shares in the company. You also have 5%. If they want to, you pay as it is. Next time, if you go and ask for 5,000, because the 500 went, they will be confident to give it to you. And that is how one way of what we call crowdfunding. The white use it a lot, but it's a system you know. The other aspect is that there are a lot of challenges. As I speak to you, through the Africa Higher Education Initiative, we are running 2 challenges. One of them is African Health Challenge. Actually, you need to develop a business idea that is around solving human needs around health. Health is also a Greek and related issue. And once it's good, we give you $25,000 to start the idea. Then you go to Canada for 3 years to nurture that idea. There are a second one that is restrictive to KNUST and Ashashi. Also another $200,000 if you develop an idea in IT or any other field and it's good. The first 10, you get 200,000 plus 3 months coaching in Canada and other countries to develop that business idea. What I mean is that there are a lot of challenges. UN and World Bank also have energy and ecology related funding. One of them is the small grant, which is $100,000 for any idea, business idea in this area. All that I want to say is that there are a lot of business challenges because the world have realized that looking at the way Africa is, looking for job is difficult. So the only way is that we need to open up all these open. And there are a lot of challenges because of I can't talk of the various funds, but there are a lot of funding available. Those who have existing business, one of the funding sources is the ECAs, European Credit Agencies. They have a very flexible funding if it's an existing business of funding that, and I know a lot of institutions in Ghana that have accessed that fund. All that you need to do is that position your mind to do business. Make sure that you identify human needs, explore and get knowledge. And once you do that, you get the funding. And with God on our side, I know you'll make the money and support God's work and evangelize. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Prof. You can give it to him again. Please, you can take your seat. That's right. Well presented. And so those of us who do not have any business mind, make up your mind. You